an Aloe Thoughts media production.
We are not bound by the cracks in the roads behind us. With every step forward, we lay new stones, stones of awareness, stones of courage, stones of intention and clarity. Let's take a journey. Imagine your mind and heart as a vast but intricate forest. It's spring season. You hear the birds and the life around you. You notice paths that are well worn by years of habit, outdated beliefs, familiar patterns. You've walked it so many times that every bend, every stone, it feels like second nature. It's almost comforting in its predictability. But there's a catch. This path no longer leads you where you need to go. It circles back around to the same emotions, inspiring the same questions, encouraging the same outcomes. And this frequency attracts the sensations of feeling stuck. Until on one beautiful day, like today, you pause, stopping mid-step, realizing the road ahead seems under construction like a mug. There are trees down, deep fissures forming in the ground, and the path obstructions like never seen before. The foundation beneath our feet is unstable, y'all, and we have a choice to make. We could keep walking the familiar path, convincing self that eventually find a way, or we could choose to really see the brokenness in the path and make a conscious decision to restructure and reroute. Conscious crew, welcome back into this brand new 7th season, and I am your humble host, CC Robinson. Thank you for kicking it with me in the Vibe Clinic. This episode is about change, the deep, transformative kind, the learning to, or becoming all right, embracing change, flowing with change, celebrating change. And that begins not from the outside perspectives or not from the outside world, but from within. That's real, because as a human species, we experience a diverse set of problems. It's some problems that people go through that some people may not ever even encounter or know is real. That's how many subcultures are to a subculture to a subculture. It's all kinds of subcultures out here, for real. This exposes us emotionally on all realms of the emotional and psychological spectrums. So I thought, why try to tailor an antidote for one set of problems when I could contribute in encouraging a mindset of solutions across the board, encouraging to gain an understanding to the origins of this very reality experienced. In my experience, I find most times it's not specifically about what it is we go through as it is about exercising the ability to consciously decide out of it. So let's continue to embark on this conscious journey through these mental and emotional streets in the forest, but not as passive travelers, though, as active guides to ourselves and for ourselves. Before we get into that, I want to give a quick story about a point in my life that I had to restructure and reroute, like to really begin to understand what that means. I fought the sensations of depression and didn't even know, I can't say that I was a participant, conscious living at that time. And I fell victim to everything. I fell victim to how I felt, that ways I didn't even think that it was important to acknowledge. It's old. It'll be all right. Childhood traumas, I didn't realize that I still felt like a victim on so many different levels. Just accompanied with physical pain that I've been through, and then the financial pain, and then the time and everything colliding at once. I truly spiraled to a moment that I had to decide to clear my path, or something was going to happen. What? I don't know. And it wasn't until that spiral landed me in the psychiatric facility, and it was there. Y'all, I'm going to keep it blood raw. It was there that I realized life. I feel like I was thrown in, not thrown, because if I was there, everything happens for a reason, but I was placed there to realize everywhere else I've been, if that makes sense to you. I am so grateful because there was moments there is when I truly, truly submitted to God. That's when my belief system is all I had. Literally, that's all I had. It wasn't about people anymore. It wasn't about how much money I have anymore. It wasn't about whether I have a roof over my head anymore. All of that stuff is happenstance. First it's about, can I keep doing this like this for real? And yeah. Oh my goodness. I begin to truly believe, and I submitted all control from that moment to this one. That allowed that path. It afforded me a riding lawnmower, so to speak, in this forest that we dive into in this episode, and to truly mow as I go, but I ain't really walking. I'm baby hovering, I got water, I got a little cup holder, all that, I'm riding. It's hot now. It's hot. Ooh, I'm riding through some tight spaces. I'm get a little cut up, got sandy spurs. But I'm all right. A new path is being paved, and I believe that the destination of this path will get me just where I need to be in perfect timing. And that's what this journey truly has been about. Restructuring and rerouting led me to a theory of pressing on. All of it is relative to a decision I had to make for better. The initial decision supports the next decision, supports the next decision when I'm spending my free will to do so. And I'm going to tell you, looking at depression in the rearview mirror, baby, that's a mean reroute. Allow me to share it from my philosophy, my book, Press On, Awareness to Overcome All While Healing Debts of the Heart, Mind, and Soul. My restructure and reroute, that's what it really looked like. That's where I learned what it is to press on. That's where, literally turned off the autopilot and began to live consciously. And there is a chapter on stillness, chapter 8. I'm going to read a piece of that. The active force of stillness is here. The depths that pain travels can only be revealed one layer at a time to grasp the truth surrounding existence in the simplest form. The mental and emotional substitutions of truth reality are left exposed with nowhere to hide. This highlight of lies and manipulation and abuse and assaults used to hurt me with the power I gave them from hurting myself. This pill should have a choking hazard on it. By far, it has been the hardest pill to swallow to date. Deep down in my womb, intuitiveness tells me this seemingly demolition process has purpose. Slowly yet surely, everything known collapses in a puddle of unfamiliar fragments. A psychological break is inevitable because a process of remolding has been ordained by God to reorganize my pieces. Crying is magical. This purposeful cleanse waters seeds of action with reverence and spiritual strength to overcome. It becomes medicinal with the understanding that all things are working together for greater. The decision to release control to a higher power was the first conscious decision of my life. And that's a mean restructure. Let's take a moment and just picture the landscape around us. The familiar path is ending, and ahead of us, the forest is dense. It's uncharted. That could be intimidating, but it's full of potential. There are no signs, no Wi-Fi, no markers, just trees, shadows, and the whispers of the unknown. Ooh, and in this unknown lies our greatest opportunities. It is here that the old map no longer applies. The map. The map. The map reflects generational lessons. The map reflects what you learned at home. The map reflects what you believe, how you were educated, and cultural traditions. And on this map, it's rare for X to truly mark the exact spot of healing on the journey of self-mastery. But see, the map is necessary to lead us toward the vicinity to where the activation of our authentic selves is required to recognize opportunity in its rarest form of presence. With each step, we begin to notice that the more conscious we become of our surroundings, the clearer the vision. We start to notice small, almost hidden paths not seen before. These paths represent conscious choices. You know them choices, the different choices that we make, responding differently and intentionally to an old situation. Restructuring isn't about tearing down the old forest, y'all. Rather, it's about learning and embracing the art of rerouting through it. allowing ourselves to create new pathways of thought, emotion, behavior. It's all in the senses. And it's for us to really understand that there is a way. There's always a way. Instead of being fearful of the unknown. If you being you right now, you can't go wrong. The Vibe Clinic podcast is a bi-weekly beacon of light on the journey of self-mastery. When I speak of ideas of restructuring, there's 3 essential steps that cannot be ignored. The first is to acknowledge the cracks, acknowledge the overgrowth, the fissures, the trash. Acknowledge what it is you smell in the wind that's going by. Truly identify the areas in life where things feel misaligned, because this exposes like fundamental issues, things that set deep in the base. A lot of times, I found out a lot of this stuff happened a long time ago, and it just hardened and had its way. And that can be dug up too. The tractors, they on site always, because these obstacles present when we're presented with change, when we are fearful, when there are habits and sensations of feeling obligated and entitled. By naming them, whatever they are, name them. Take the first step toward change. Let me ask you, what are the cracks in your path? Second, assess the patterns. Now, as a nurse, I feel crazy by saying assess second because it's always assess first. But in this case, shout out to the nurses everywhere. In this case, second, assess the patterns. Once we've recognized where our life needs restructuring, the next step is to understand why these cracks exist anyway. Is it an outdated belief? Are there complacencies? Was it something somebody else said or taught? Assess your own patterns, the routines, your mindset, your heart set that has shaped these understandings. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? Thirdly, be intentional. This is where we consciously design a new path. We don't hurry up and do it as we plan it out. We think about where we want to go. We think about where we've been. Take those lessons with us to pave a new road. It's the being intentional on how to move forward for me. Survey the scene to a new route with clear boundaries, better support systems, and a stronger connection to your inner compass. It is an alignment, right? What do you need to prioritize to create this new journey? You come back. Come on. Now it's time to reroute. Rerouting is when after you've made all of those fine, well-deserved interchanges, you go with your bad self. You take the actions to adjust the actual path you're on. This is action. Action. It's the decision to walk away from a path that no longer leads you to growth and create a new one. A path reflecting who you really are and where you truly want to go. Give yourself some grace. Understand that the broken pieces of the past, they're not failures. My past, like the unsavory aspects of my past, and I have plenty, just as anyone else, they made me in who I am. I appreciate that. And failures, they're materials to build something better. Sheer intel. They are the lessons, the wisdom, the opportunities for us to reconstruct, restructure, to anything. It hurt. It take work to redo anything, rewire, restructure in a way that aligns with our future self and who we want that to be. We are not bound by the cracks in the roads behind us. With every step forward, we lay new stones, stones of awareness, stones of courage, stones of intention and clarity. Y'all see this? The forest is changing. Man, the once tangled areas where the mind felt chaotic and full of static is now loose and openly in flow. The more we restructure our thinking, the more beautiful this landscape of reality becomes. Notice how the trees of old beliefs are no longer rooted in fear, but in understanding. Streams that once carried anxieties now flow with calm acceptance. Our internal landscape has the ability to transform into a vibrant ecosystem of balance and renewal. My friends, fellow thought leaders and change makers, conscious crew, this is the power of restructuring and rerouting. Feel free to make conscious decisions to reroute, to rebuild, to renew, moving forward into a future that aligns with your highest vision as God sees fit. We made it. I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all all right? We finally reached a clearing. Such a tranquil space. It's a place of deep stillness. Catch your breath. Let's sit down in the wholeness that we've been cultivating. Understand, I'm not saying that the thicket and the overgrowth areas don't exist. It's just now we've adopted a way to navigate them differently, so we don't even have to harp on that. It's not necessary to harp on that. The journey through this forest of the heart and mind, it don't end here. This work is ongoing. It requires a lifetime of practice. It's not a game. We talking about practice? Yeah, you got to practice real good for a lifetime. Practice tending to your own internal landscapes. You are not defined by where you've been, but where you choose to go. And with that, rise ready for whatever comes next, knowing that no matter the twists or turns, you have the tools to restructure and reroute, and with grace. The journey forward is yours to experience and create. Until next time, peace.